Do you ever worry that designers in your organization may be making inconsistent design decisions? Or do you have endless debates in your design community regarding whether we should be consistent or break the rulebook, or whether one target user group is more important than another? When we have many designers, distributed teams, or perhaps even competing audiences to satisfy, it's worth having design principles. Design principles are guiding stars for designers. They ensure designers make the best decisions for their users and for the product or service they're working on. A design principle is essentially a value statement that is tied to the goals of the product or service, i.e., what it wants to achieve for users. Design principles are not team mottos like "we work hard for our users" or "we're data-driven." Mottos like these don't help designers know what to do in a given situation where they need to make a trade-off type decision. Instead, design principles need to be clear about what they advocate and why. They should take a stand on which value will trump others, and they should inspire empathy for the user, because after all, that's who we're designing for. Let's look at a good example. This one comes from gov.uk. This is for everyone. Accessible design is good design. Everything we build should be as inclusive, legible, and readable as possible. If we have to sacrifice elegance, so be it. We're building for needs, not audiences. We're designing for the whole country, not just the ones who are used to using the web. The people who most need our services are often the people who find them the hardest to use. Let's think about those people from the start. Notice it's clear why accessible design is important. They're designing for every citizen. Secondly, they call out accessibility as being more important than visual design or elegance. So this principle clearly takes a stand on which value is more important. Lastly, this principle inspires empathy for the user. The people who most need these services are the people who often find them the hardest to use. We are asked to think about them and their situation when designing services for citizens. Now, when faced with a decision about what text this button should have on it, or whether this should be a type ahead or a drop down, looking at this principle forces us to ask the question, what's the most accessible? Rather than what looks the tidiest or the most visually appealing. When designers have design principles to refer to, it's more likely they will make decisions that help products and services meet the desired goal, and less likely that they will make decisions based on their own personal preference. Lastly, design principles are only useful if they're being used. If you don't have design principles, create them with others, rather than creating them on your own, as they're more likely to be accepted and remembered if others have had a hand in creating them. Once created, don't let them build dust, socialize them. For example, print them out and stick them up on a wall so everyone can see them, include them in presentations, or regularly discuss them in meetings. You can learn more about design principles in our class on design trade-offs and UX decision frameworks at our UX conference.